Good evening and welcome to Frank on Camnet, wherever you are across the globe and indeed in Zambia. Welcome to Frank on Camnet. The elections are over, the people are settling down, the government is settling down. For others, time to review what exactly happened before the elections, during the elections, and post-elections. My guest on the program tonight is the president of the Democratic Party, President Kalaba. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Your Excellency, and good evening, viewers from wherever you're watching us from. It's good to be here, Your Excellency, and thank you for having me.
You look fresh, and yet it was a very grueling time. What have you been doing that we don't know, which we're not doing? Because you look really in good shape.
Thank you, Excellency. It's God's grace.
Yeah.
And the elections were quite draining.
Yeah.
But we thank God that now past us. For now, we look to the future with a lot of hope. What am I doing? What I'm doing is that I just accept the will of God.
Yeah.
The elections finished and the Lord chose. It's one leader at a time. For now, they have said it is this particular individual,
Right.
President HH, who will be president. We will align ourselves to the will of God.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I will be revisiting, that. But I must be very frank and very honest. I need to start this interview in reverse because we're going to visit this issue of corruption, later on. But I just want you and me to reflect on all these cases of revelation. I mean, I've been around for 69 years. 51 of those now in the media. I have served presidents, all of them since independence. In between a number of governance issues, including corruption. But it breaks my heart, really. And I must confess on the onset that I'm not the strongest of person when it comes to emotions. How public money could have been spent, could have at this stage maybe perceived stolen. How can individuals who are just mere politicians, some of them are just mere simple people doing simple jobs, keep millions of dollars in their house in the midst of poverty? President Kalaba, I don't know. It's broken my heart.
Well, you will recall, Your Excellency, that in 2017, when I decided to resign from the PF as foreign minister, I was called names. No, Harry Kalaba has just stopped. No, Harry Kalaba this and that. No, Harry Kalaba. But at the end of the day, it is things like that that I saw coming that I didn't want to be part of. I realized that this government had veered off the track. And so it was only responsible of me as a citizen, as a leader, to say I'm not going this path and therefore I'm relinquishing my post. The path which the country took was alarming. It was like competition to harvest. 65 million in a home.
House. Yeah.
You don't have machines for dialysis machines. You don't have in the UTH. Today you go in hospitals, they'll ask you they'll just write your name, take your temperature, and then they'll give you a prescription to go and buy. Because government can no longer afford to buy drugs for patients. But there are individuals with money, more than UTH. There are individuals with money, more than government institutions. And we think this is normal? This is not right. And therefore I can only hope that we will move at breakneck speed to arrest this this strange behavior that has crept in our country. And that the Anti-Corruption Commission, the DEC, and all wings of government will move at a pace that is going to enhance public confidence. That public property must be revered. There must be some form of sacrology attached to public good, which is not the case from what we are seeing. I hope we'll get the bottom of it, and that Zambia as a country will redeem itself when all is said and done.
I know you're a Christian. I've known you for a long time. You work with your colleagues, leadership at the top level. How well did you know your colleagues, including the man at the top?
Well, you know, what brought us together was President Sata. President Sata brought us together because we all came from different backgrounds, and then we got into the PF in 2011. I didn't know much about most of my colleagues. I want to believe the president knew. It's only when President Sata died that I began getting close to these guys. It first of all started with when we wanted to appoint President Lungu as leader of the PF. In the beginning, I was not inclined to support him.
I remember very well.
You remember, I wasn't inclined. Until colleagues presided over my interests and said, no, let's just support him for the party to win and that kind of thing. And then I fought for it. But something was telling me this is not the right person for the job. And I got close to him when he became president. I saw that there was something that was not adding up. And I wasn't going to be part of that. Because I think the public interest was not being taken care of. Personal interests were overriding the public good. And I thought that was not the way to proceed. And so I called it quits. So in a nutshell, I don't know. I didn't know them that much. But when I began interacting with them closely at Cabinet, that's when I began seeing that these are individuals made of a different fiber.
Did you notice anything that shocked you? I mean, you obviously saw the levels of opulence in your colleagues who, a couple of months prior to that, yes, really, they were just ordinary, people. What was going through your mind that, wait a minute, are we in the same job?
Exactly. I was even wondering, Your Excellency, I was wondering that, are we in the same government? What's happening? Others can afford millions, and where are they getting the money from? At one time, I remember asking a colleague, you guys, where are you getting this money from? I saw you giving 100,000 just like that. Where are you getting? Because your salary is only 40,000. But you're able to give 3 times your salary to somebody just in a fraction of a second like that. Where is the money coming from? Then I began realizing, they're involved in fictitious tenders, they're involved in this and that. There were suppliers, and government was hijacked. It was hijacked. And I think never again in the history of this country should we entrust leadership in the hands of people. That should never have been in the leaders in the first place.
As a rider, to that, I've asked this question, before. How did we arrive at that stage where leadership virtually captured us, as Zambians?
I think it's the levels of docility also. I think we are a docile people. We like celebrating and eulogizing mediocrity. We fail to stand up to our leaders, and because of that, the leaders take advantage of us. They have the cash, they have the power, and we think that we are doing ourselves a favor by aligning ourselves to what the leaders want. I think it should not be like that. We have learnt it the hard way in this country, and I pray that going in the future, we'll stand up to anything that sounds dictatorial, anything that sounds affluent in front of poverty. We should be able to say this is not us. We can't see ourselves in you, and because we can't, we are standing up to you. dictators are bullies,
Yeah.
and we should be able to stand up to them. I did stand up to
Yeah.
the system. That was not correct. I was the only one
Yeah.
at the time. People thought, Harry, what is going on with him? He just wants to be president. No, it was not about that. I just didn't agree that we can continue living in such a fashion. No.
Did you feel lonely? You know, I know you're verified by people you work closely with, your code names. Not too many Zambians, you know, patted you on the back and say, Harry, you've done a great job. You lost friends.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you feel lonely and started wondering, did I do the right thing?
You know, Your Excellency, it takes courage to leave, just as it takes courage to stay. And I think in my case, I needed more courage.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I was foreign minister.
Yeah.
I had vehicles at my disposal. I had the luxury of flying in in aeroplanes.
Right.
Every other day.
Close to international leaders.
Yeah, exactly. And so you require courage. You require to think out of your skin, to just take the decision I took. And as you rightly put, I'm a Christian. I took 3 months of prayer, then a month of prayer and fasting. I wanted to be sure in my spirit that what I was doing was the correct thing. And eventually, it was clear to me that the Lord had said I should move on. And I had peace. You know, when I resigned on the 17th of December 2017, I just had peace within me. And yes, it can be lonely. I was very, I found myself alone because even the people I thought were going to say, no, Harry, you've done the correct thing, they all said, no, I think you have been too fast, you should have waited. And they would come to visit me, pretend they're visiting me, they're taking news to the president, you know, going to inform him. It can be lonely, but when you've made the right decision, it doesn't matter the storm. It doesn't matter. If you are right, you are right. The storm will come, it will pass.
Were you afraid? You know, not many people, like you say, could have, you know, done that. There's a system that goes with the presidency. There's a system power that goes with the political party in government. Did you feel afraid?
No, I was not afraid because, you know, Your Excellency, I think I've told you this story before.
Yeah.
When you look at me, you know, I've got scars on my forehead. I nearly died in 2005. I had a terrible accident, you know. I hit in a train. And I was decapitated for about 6 months. I was in hospital.
Yeah.
I could literally do nothing. At some point, people thought I would not even walk. But God in His infinite mercies sustained me and saw me through it.
Yeah.
You know, when I survived that period, I immediately realized that our lives are fragile. And that any time you can go back to the Creator. From that time, I tell people that for me, I live on borrowed time.
Yeah.
My death should have happened in 2005.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. I'm still alive now because God wants me to still be alive. And because of that, I have taken my life very, very seriously.
Yeah.
I was not afraid of anything because there was nothing that could have been more catastrophic than the accident I had in 2005. And I have been living my life in such a way that it's God-faced in my own life. So when I left, of course I was thrown to the whims of the Anti-Corruption Commission and the DEC to investigate me, to try and instill fear in me. I was not afraid of the SEC. I was not afraid of the DEC because I'd done nothing wrong. I'd done nothing wrong. They investigated me and found that there was nothing on me. I made sure that I didn't touch government money. So it was difficult for them to pin me down. So there was nothing to fear.
Where was your family in all this, especially when you decided to leave the government? What was the family telling you? I mean, obviously they must have said, we've lived comfortably and we're going to lose some of these peaks, that we've been enjoying. What were your family saying to you?
You know what, Your Excellency? In fact, my family you're talking about, even when I became minister, I never moved them out of our home.
Yeah.
The same house that we were living in when I was a civil servant in government is the same house that we continued living in even when I was minister. So my absence from government or my departure from government didn't affect my children where they were going to be sleeping. They were going to have the same bedroom, they were going to have the same kitchen, the same TV room, the same sitting room. So, nothing much changed. Except, it was something that we were discussing before, because I told you it was 3 months before I kept reflecting and praying over it. So I shared with my wife, I shared with my children, and they told me, if you feel that you're not happy with it, Dad, leave it. Just leave it. And my wife encouraged me a lot. She says, listen to the Spirit. What is God telling you? That's how come I went into 1 month prayer and fasting, to just discern the will of God in my life. And I can tell you, Your Excellency, that when I look back with a certain sense of fulfillment, that I did the right thing. That indeed the Lord has been with me. And I can only say Ebenezer.
Brilliant. Let me ask you this. Again, about all these revelations of a lot of, at this stage, perceived in the cases. Some of the people are involved. Young girls. Young boys. Is this what the breakdown of morals is all about in a Christian country? And I would like to add something to that. Where are the men and women of the flock here, of the caller? I've never heard most of them, really coming out and saying, this is bad. Even saying, how did we arrive at this with our young girls, with our young boys in a Christian country? Is this how morality, the fiber of morals, breaks down in a country when leadership breaks down?
Yes, I think, and it's good that you bring that thing up. Leadership, first of all, doesn't just start with me, Harry Kalaba, being the president of the Democratic Party. It starts with me being a father to Shetekela at home, a father to my daughter at home. There's something that is happening in our families, in homes, that also is not right. Somehow we are telling our children to be rich is the best form of life one can be, to have money. I'll tell you myself that I undermine money a lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would not even have stopped as foreign minister.
Yeah.
Money is important, Your Excellency.
Yeah.
But money is not the ultimate thing in life. There are things that are beyond money. Out of my 10 priorities in life, my hierarchy of needs, money maybe comes number 10. Because I think for me, morality is critical.
Yeah.
I think for me, being honest is a value that money cannot buy. Faithfulness is something money cannot buy. So there are various values that are beyond money. But all of a sudden, in the homes where you and I are leaders, we begin telling our children, no, unless walia pisa, ngataulile pisa, nishiwa ipoa pesoni, unless, it is things like that. They grow up believing that unless I have money. But when you grow up in a home where I grew up, my father was a minister. Yes, granted, in the UNIP government. But I used to walk, going to school, Your Excellency. You know the story.
Yeah.
I used to walk on to Libala Secondary School. I used to walk on St. Clement's Secondary School. Why? Because my father believed that, my son, I can only show you the way, but I can never walk with you on that path. My father is now late. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that because of what he inculcated in me, today I'm aspiring to be president of the Republic of Zambia. It's because there's something beyond money. And I am not aspiring for leadership in order to have money. It's not my priority. I think at Foreign Affairs, I was about the only minister who could take back money when I didn't stay the number of days I was given.
Retire.
Yes, I would, I would retire the money. It has never defined me. It has never defined me. Money should be a byproduct.
Yeah.
Look at you, sir.
Yeah.
You are a gift God has given to this country.
I praise God.
You've run your journalism career not because you want money.
No.
It's because that is the passion you have.
Yeah, it's a calling for me.
A footballer doesn't play football because he wants money.
Yeah.
Money comes as a byproduct.
Yeah.
When you begin chasing money for the sake of chasing money, then you face trouble. People are coming into leadership because they want money. They'll end up in shame. They'll end up embarrassed. Money should just be something that comes as you're doing your work. So, yes, I think this culture of our children in homes growing up thinking if they have millions in their homes, that's when they're comfortable, doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Even in poverty, there is dignity.
When I was in church on Sunday at Miracle Life, coincidentally, this issue came up of whether Zambia should be a Christian country or not.
It should be.
Yeah. My reverend says, okay, jokingly, my reverend says, oh, you want to question whether Zambia is a Christian country or not? Go to East Mall at night. Go to Discourse at night and see how the people are behaving in a Christian country. That is part of the question that I am going to ask. The other part I've already asked you, where are the men and women of the caller in all this, in a Christian country? Why are they so quiet? Do they believe in this country being a Christian country? Or again, we go back to the man.
Maybe we should bring Pastor Chiluba here, since we're already here at Camnet.
Well,
he should tell us whether we're a Christian nation or not, given the behavior that are going around.
Yes, I wish he was around in this building. Well, is this a Christian country?
It is. It is.
What is a Christian country,
it is.
President?
It is.
What is a Christian country?
It is a Christian country.
Shouldn't it relate to the values?
In fact, this is a country that has a covenant with God.
Yeah.
We're a covenanted nation.
Yeah.
But that doesn't exclude us.
Yeah.
It's like Christ when he came to liberate us. I mean, when he died for us on Calvary. I don't think, Your Excellency, Christ died for us on Calvary to liberate us from suffering. But I think he died on that cross to show us how to bear suffering, even as Christians. A Christian nation is not exempted from human frailty.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean when you're a Christian nation, then there'll be no thieves in that nation. It doesn't mean when you're a Christian nation, then there'll be no prostitution in that country. Then there'll be no moral decays in that country.
Yeah.
No. When you're a Christian nation, now it becomes your job and my job to help those ones to come to the values of what this country is aspiring to be, of what this country has committed itself to be. And leaders like Harry Kalaba and all other leaders who are seeking leadership in truth should be able to help the nation to that level. This nation is now being consumed by alcoholism.
Yeah.
People are drinking alcohol a lot in this country. And when you ask why, they'll tell you we don't have jobs. They'll tell you because, what would we be doing? We're just idling around. I think no. There's also something that we leaders are not doing. Because leaders are drinking alcohol themselves openly and They're also showing people that this is the way to go and that kind of thing. So people grow up and begin thinking this is the way to go. So yes, we are a Christian nation. But the identity of this nation to be preserved, it requires you and I, who have professed Christ as Lord, to stand up and begin calling people to order, begin encouraging them. But Your Excellency, sir, it starts with your family first.
Right.
Because charity begins at home. Where I come from in Mansa, we say, akachila, kambush, kasengulo opo keke. Elo akafumbi okununa katula kuwaiche. So, we first of all, it has to start with me. I have to evangelize myself before I evangelize to you. Yeah.
If I'm going to lead from what you're saying, I need to show good moral examples at home.
Exactly.
Where are we missing it in terms of some of the leaders who have presided over this country, whose morals we can question? Where have we gone wrong, and how can this be addressed? And the appendix to that question is, why is it that good guys like you know, don't do very well at elections? I know this is your first time. Why don't we get the joy of going to those polls and pick a morally upright person? I'm not saying the current one. No, I'm not even, giving him as an example.
No.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there were some good guys in there. There've been good guys before. I mean, I'm not saying they should be president, maybe, but they should do very well. We should embrace them. We don't appreciate morals as electorate?
No, we do. But I think these things go with what God wants. God is sovereign.
Yeah.
He does what pleases him. The other day, my wife was telling me that God is never late. God does his things on time. That is when we didn't win the elections. And it tells me that in all things, give praise to him.
Absolutely.
You don't know why.
Absolutely.
God is doing and allowing certain things to happen.
Absolutely.
And me as a believer, I need to trust God. Even when it is dark, I need to trust God that this is the path I should walk. I am not saying, trying to find my way, but I know that he's holding my hand. That is why I can sleep and I can tell you here with confidence. I may not have been president today.
Yeah.
But God is still sitting on that throne. One day, I will be.
Yeah.
One day I will be. And at God's rightful time, I will be. That's why I'm not bitter.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not wasting time crying, I don't have that time.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on doing what I can do now, interacting with people, even those that are watching me right now, so that they can come and join the DP. Because right now, as it is, Your Excellency, we are the only political party that Zambians now are looking up to. And I can tell you that, yes, I am not president of Zambia today.
Yeah.
But do you know, Your Excellency, that we have won in so many ways? I think we have won in so many ways. Because there were some people that never took us serious before the elections.
Yeah.
Some thought we would come out number 10 or number 15 out of 16 competitors. We are number 3. Yes, we could have been a distant third, but we are number 3. And as you rightly elucidated in the beginning, that the people of Zambia in this particular election wanted just change.
Yeah.
They didn't want to gamble on Harry Kalaba. They wanted to remove a particular individual, a particular system, and they looked at all of us who are standing and they said the one that has got the most likely chance of forming government is President Hakainde Hichilema. So they all settled on him. I had 4 friends of mine who have been very honest with me. And they have told me, Harry, I didn't vote for you. And I was like, how? No, Harry, I didn't. Even Your Excellency, maybe you didn't vote for me. It's okay. But I know that people were voting Not because those 4 friends of mine didn't like me. I know they like me and I can vouch for them.
Yeah.
But they are also looking at their children. They're also looking at their country. What country are we going to leave behind? What type of country are we leaving behind? So maybe let's remove this. Harry is our friend. We'll still look at him in 2026. So I still have a chance. In 2026, Your Excellency, I might be president.
Yeah, I know one fan that you have, my daughter.
Oh, very good.
My daughter is one of your biggest fans, Mwanga.
Wow.
Yeah, and I know Mwanga voted for you.
Wow.
Yeah, and 1 or 2 of our friends, you met her, when you came for the radio interview. Yes. Let me ask you this. I've always said, I don't mean all of them. I've always said, some politicians, when they get into politics, the first thing they lose is their ability to see and the ability to hear. It is so obvious that PF had reached
its apex.
Of the peak of morality. But they didn't see it.
No, they didn't.
They're still very arrogant. Former president, confidently said he was going to win by 500,000, votes. I mean, you worked for them. Or you with them. What was he seeing that the majority of the people were not seeing? What was this arrogance coming from?
It was coming from the dollars that he had. I think he had too much dollars.
Yeah.
But look, I think the president had disconnected himself from reality. And when a leader surrounds himself with political puppets, people that want to sing only his praises, and he begins hearing those praises as being reality, he loses it. As you said, we don't hear, For me, I even tell my colleagues around me, please don't just babysit me here and begin telling me all the niceties. No, I want to hear what I can do better. Are you sure are you sure this? Are you sure that? Are you sure that? But they'll tell you, no, we have done this, and people normally who want to tell me those lies, I don't normally want to be very close to them. I want those who are critical, who raise issues. So no, this cannot be like this, because like that, then I know that I'm going to last as a leader. The moment everything I say has to go, then I'm worried. Margaret Thatcher, Your Excellency, I know you've met Margaret Thatcher.
Yes.
May I so rest in peace too. One of the attributes of Margaret Thatcher, which I really like, is that Margaret Thatcher was one prime minister who used to sit more often than not with her critics than her praise singers. She would have lunch with one of her staunch critics and invite them to 10 Downing Street and say, can we have lunch? And then, can I know, why do you think like that? Why do you think like that? That's why Margaret Thatcher is she's about the longest serving prime minister of the UK. It's because she was listening to criticism. One of the greatest strengths, Your Excellency, of Barack Obama in the USA also is that he was never afraid of competition.
That is why he brought in Hillary.
There you go.
Competing against him.
Even Joe Biden was competing against him.
Absolutely.
He brought them in.
We go back to Thatcher. Heseltine wanted Thatcher's job. Even when he left the prime minister, but he continued to be a member because he was one of the fiercest critics. But Thatcher would call on these guys.
Yes. Back home in Zambia. Levi Mwanawasa, may he so rest in peace. President Mwanawasa said he liked selling to Michael Sata. This man has been helping me to understand my job because I always watch him, and what he says I try to implement. I know he's a difficult man, but I try to listen. And when he was sick, he was the first one who couldn't even go to the gym. He made sure that I was flown out of Zambia for his medication. Now that is leadership par excellence. Even those who don't agree with you, that's why they say there is unity in diversity. bring them close. Hear them. I think it's important to have people around you who can call you to order.
Why do these leaders want to listen to people when they even know that this man is not telling me the truth? Why?
Because it suits them. It suits them. And when you try to tell them the truth, they start accusing you that, oh, he's not with us. Or we know what he's doing. He's meeting other opposition leaders. Or we know he wants to leave us. Or we know. They hide in that kind of mediocrity and thinking they're going to be safe there. They avoid the reality, and reality is waiting for them. So I think for me, I would rather have my ears constantly open and my eyes open so that I can see and hear the truth before me.
Recently at a press conference, you say DP now is the factor in our present times. Before you respond to that, you qualify, that. Is there anything you would have done differently? I know the people decided we just want to remove PF. But having said that, is there something you learned that when you look back and say, you know what, maybe I as Harry, maybe us as DP, we could have done things differently?
Yes, I think there are several things. There are so many lessons that we have picked from the past election, Your Excellency. I think there are a number of issues we would have done differently. Now that we should have paid more attention to issues of vote protection, now that we know. We should have also paid attention, I think, more to the rural votes. We should have done a lot of interaction here in Lusaka as well, not just being on Camnet, but also going out to Matero, going out into Chawama, going out to Kundola, and all these urban areas. We should have done more. That's what we are doing now. We should have participated in by-elections as well, because they should have given us a glimpse of what it means to participate in a general election. We thought you can just participate in a general election and it can work out that way. Not in Africa. So we have learned. And so those are things we are working at and going in the future. We are going in the future with a lot of determination, a lot of resilience, and so much fortitude to confront the future.
I'll be coming to why DP is different from other political parties and why you feel it is a factor now. Running a political party, albeit elections, is very, very expensive. Can this be addressed first? Can you actually do well without adequate funding? Two, that those who are saying political parties were funded by the government. Your response to that?
Look, I think for me, running a political party is not easy. But if it's a people's movement, it becomes easy because then everybody believes in the cause. Honorable or Your Excellency Mutubila will give Harry Kalaba 5 kwacha. My colleagues that there will give you another 5 kwacha. This one pitches in, the other one pitches in. At the end of the day, you'll find that you've got the resources to take you into Mulobezi, and you go. A revolution is not fought by an individual. So yes, when people believe in a cause, they'll raise resources for that cause. Otherwise, UPND itself will not have won the election. It's because various individuals stood up and said we're supporting this cause. Governments supporting political parties, I don't know what criteria it will take. I don't know what criteria it should take. Is it only parties with MPs in parliament? Or is it parties with councillors? Or is it parties? I mean, what criteria would they use? Especially for a country like ours, whose resources are meager. We are failing to buy medicine. How should we find money for politics? That's why I was complaining that how come there are a lot of billboards for the PF? A lot of vitenges for the
18
PF.
million.
Spending all that
billboards.
Kind of money, but they could spend because they knew there was some 60 million somewhere which was still untouched. It's strange that our priorities are warped in this country. But I think maybe in the future, to level the playing field, maybe the Electoral Commission of Zambia, maybe we should enact a law. Maybe we should. Not now, but in future, maybe we should.
Should What question did I want to ask? Let's look at the DP. I'll be coming to it. No, before I come back to DP. ECZ, you just made reference to ECZ. Your assessment, in terms of how they managed the elections?
ECZ worked under very difficult circumstances, Your Excellency. I can sit here and I can tell you I still have respects for Mr. Shindano and Judges Sauchulu. They worked hard. They tried hard to give us an election despite the environment not being conducive. They still did what they could have done. They could have done more, yes, but the political environment was not conducive. You can imagine, even when they were announcing, they were told to stop announcing results.
Yeah.
And they just didn't take the instruction. They went ahead to announce. So it tells you that we had men and women bound by human frailty, but I think they performed, they tried to perform beyond expectation.
Were you afraid, that the violence that was going on could eventually threaten the peace that we have enjoyed all this time? Part of the question. The other question, did anything go through your mind that, suppose PF wins? Did you sit back and think, my God, suppose these guys...
I kept saying, Your Excellency, that I shudder to imagine what will happen if PF wins.
Yeah.
I was afraid of the violence. It would have escalated.
Yeah.
We had cadres everywhere. Not that I don't like them, but I can tell you that for the DP, we had thought we were going to create a platform for them.
Yeah.
We were looking at Zambia National Service as an avenue with which we are going to train those cadres and make them be useful citizens.
Yeah.
Because even now, I would want to urge the UPND leadership to ensure that they take care of those people they are calling cadres. They have to find an avenue for them.
Yeah.
If they don't, we'll have criminality growing in the compounds.
Yeah.
And we'll have ourselves to blame. So that energy must be expended somewhere, and I think it must be expended within Zambia National Service. It must be expended within a framework, and I think Zambia National Service is just the right place to take them. The violence was threatening our peace. Honestly, I can only pray that to never come back.
Put it in perception. Hypothetically, if PF had won, what country would we be talking about today?
We would have just closed Zambia and tuakana na maploti chamunta yoku alefa yokuya, because we will not have any country to talk about. The levels of lawlessness would have degenerated. The levels of affluence for the political leaders would have been exacerbated. And the levels of poverty in this country would have cascaded to levels only you and I can only imagine. We are losing a country.
Yeah. Let's look at DP now. I go back to the question I posed, that DP now is a factor. Could you qualify that?
Democratic Party is a factor. As I said earlier, we came out number 3 in these elections. The PF has lost the elections. And I don't see PF bouncing into power soon, because in this country there's a culture that once a political party tumbles, it cannot come back in the next election again and run the affairs of the country. We don't want cadarism, we don't want violence, we don't want markets being swarmed by those guys. So it will take them a bit of time. The growth of the UPND, the growth trajectory of the UPND started in 2011. Yeah. When the MMD lost power. UPND didn't win any seat in Western Province. Yeah. UPND didn't win seats in Northwestern Province in 2011. It's from 2011 when MMD lost that the structures of the MMD, when they began crumbling, those that felt could not join PF, they all turned themselves into United Nations Independent, into UPND, United Party for National Development as structures. That is how UPND had its members. UPND had the biggest carcass of MMD. Its growth, even today, as you see their ministers, most of them, They're coming from MMD. The MMD.
Absolutely.
Even the vice president herself.
Yeah.
Is coming from that history. So, that is how it was. Today, we are working hard as DP. We are working hard as DP to have all those who are frustrated in the PF be part of the DP structures.
But the good ones.
I can
They
tell
got to
you,
be the good ones.
Your Excellency,
Yeah.
I can tell you that most of the people in the PF are not even as bad as you and I would want to believe. It's the leaders. It's the leaders. It's how you kubola. Tampila kumutwe.
Yeah.
It is the leadership that was going to the rot. And then it affected everybody else. Most of the wards, most of the branches, most of the districts. Good people. Good people. But because they have a leadership that could not think beyond their pockets, they've also drowned as a result. The Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So, people perished in the PF because their leaders couldn't show them the right direction. Those should come. But those ones you're saying, the bad ones, the law, the Anti-Corruption Commission, the DEC should not sleep. They should swing in and get them to account. It's just important that they should account. They have to do it and do it now. So, we in the DP believe that we are now the strongest opposition political party.
Yeah.
Your Excellency, we have got goodwill now. Our relevance is very pronounced. If I switched on my phones, the calls that I receive, they're huge, many. Maybe even here I should give my line to people and you'll see how they'll start calling me. Because they want to be part of the DP. And if you give me an opportunity, I would want to give them the number for our National Secretary. Yeah. And even for my own...
No, please do before I forget. Please do.
Oh, okay, please. I hope you have got your pens there.
Yeah, please do.
And
please
your, and your
please
paper.
do. I gave you this opportunity to market yourself. Please do.
Thank you, Excellency. If you want to call our Deputy National Secretary, Mr. Chintu, he's on 0977 41 42 74. 0977 41 42 74. If you want to call, in case it doesn't go through, you can call the National Secretary himself, Honorable Jewis Chabi. He's on 0977 24 63 85. 0977 24 63 85. In case it doesn't go through, you can still call our Deputy National Chairperson, Madam Precious Ntambu, the immediate past National Secretary. Madam Precious Ntambu is on 0977 79 3497. 0977 79 3497. And if all these are not answering, then you can call me now. You can call Harry Kalaba on 0977 79 4129. 0977 79 41 29.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Before we go on a short break and we can come back for 15, 20 minutes, just as a rider to what you were saying and promoting your party. I read papers every day, I listen to radio. I mean, it's part of my job. I've not read any of your members crossover because it's a habit. When there's a new government, I mean, the cashiers move to the other side. Your people haven't moved. What is the reason? What are they seeing in DP? You know, is it the belief of knowing, I'll wait. This party can, we will go on yonder, on paradise one day. What is this?
Well, I think it's the confidence they have in their own party, first of all, that their party is a growing party. It's a party of hope. That's why pink is our color, you know. Pink signifies hope.
Yeah.
So we are a party that people know that DP is growing every day, and they wouldn't want to leave a party that they know that tomorrow will form government. But also it is the belief in the leadership of the party. We have been stable. We haven't had many people in our party leave our party, the leaders. They have remained cohesive. We've remained together because we have a higher agenda. And because of that, our people have they have developed interest and confidence in us. They know that these are the people that we should work with and support. So yes, some will go, but the majority are coming in. And so far, so good.
Yeah. My guest on Frank on Camnet, President Harry Kalaba, President of the Democratic Party. When we come back, we ask, what has UPND taken on? What are the issues that are on the plate? What role should opposition parties play? Opposition parties like the Democratic Party. Join us very shortly, wherever you are.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
This is Frank on Camnet. Good evening. If you've just tuned in, wherever you are, we're discussing governance issues post the 2021 elections with President Harry Kalaba, President of the Democratic Party. The UPND is a national, mandate, and they're calling it a new dawn. What does this mean to you? A new dawn. And what are the implications, or any, of having such a massive, national mandate? Let's start from there.
They're calling it New Dawn, and I want to believe that they mean that it's the way of doing ways that are going to change. And we in the DP have chosen to give them time as a new government to settle, and we have agreed in the Democratic National Committee of our party that let's give them 100 days to see how they settle, and thereafter we'll begin taking them on according to the litany of promises that they gave. So we'll not be in a hurry to begin punching holes in them. We want them to settle. Especially, as you know, Your Excellency, I was foreign minister. I know how government operates.
Absolutely. And
to expect a system of their nature to make an impact just within the 4 or 5 weeks, I think it would not only be unfair, but it would also be unreasonable. So we'll see the new dawn in the next few days and months as they settle. Because words are cheap. It is easier said than done.
They made a lot of promises. One, is this dangerous? That again is part of the equation. The other part of the equation is, what critical issues should they delve into now?
Well, I think it is not for me. Honestly, Your Excellency, it is not for me
Yeah.
to tell them what issues they should dive into. But I think
Or what are the issues of your concern?
for us as DP,
as DP and as a ZAM, yeah.
As DP, Your Excellency,
Yeah.
for us, if I was president, I would concentrate on youth unemployment.
Yeah.
Because that's a time bomb. I would concentrate on that. And I heard the president the other day, he said he had created a position called for a COVID advisor.
Yes.
I mean, if you asked me, that's not a post I would have created myself.
Right.
I would have created a position of...
For the youths.
Yes, I would have...
Some
yes.
youth coordinator, whatever.
I mean, an advisor on youth...
on youth. Employment creation.
Assimilation
Yeah.
in both the formal and in the informal sector.
Yeah.
You know, somebody every morning should be whispering to me, Mr. President, the youths in Karikiriki are waiting.
Yeah.
You know, we promised them this. How far have we gone? COVID, yes, is critical, but even malaria, so we should also have a malaria advisor.
Yeah.
You know, people are dying of HIV/AIDS in this country.
Yeah.
People are dying of malaria.
Yeah.
Those things take us down more than COVID does. But COVID has got a desk. We would have prioritized the creation of wealth for our people.
Right.
Remember, our manifesto is anchored on industrialization. You know, when you look back,
Yeah.
Dr. Kaunda's time, you'll find that there were industries in each province of
Yeah.
our country. And we in the DP have said that's the way to go. We have to create industries. Don't even talk about anything. First of all, create industries. Na masaka fuma kulongo ubunga ya mona. Yafuma ku China. Amasaka.
Toothpick.
Toothpick, Your Excellency.
Wow.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Glass. South Africa.
School desks.
South Africa and China. Even bullets for our guns.
Yeah.
And yet we are producing the copper. But the bullets are coming from Russia. They're coming from China.
Yeah.
Something is not right. And we in the DP want to answer that challenge. And so we hope that, like our quests to alleviate the challenges of the youths, we hope our colleagues in government will also do that.
Ministries, some are saying superfluous, some are saying it's fine, you can't reduce on the ministries. You were in government, you just alluded to the fact that you know how government operates. Your thoughts on the number of ministries?
Well, on the number of ministries, I can tell you with certain excellence that we didn't, for us in the DP, the number of ministries will be determined by what will be prevailing in the country at the time we take over government.
Right.
It's not the number of ministries that will really answer the challenges that are going through. It's not the reduction, it's not the increment, it's the understanding of the challenges that you are going through as a country. Understanding the seasons. The Bible says we should be like the children of Issachar who understood the seasons. So even ourselves as leaders, we must understand the seasons, create ministries in line with the seasons. Maybe that's why the president has created the Ministry of, is it climate change?
Yes, green ministry.
Economy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe that has been perpetuated by that kind of thing. But for us in the DP, it's not a question of reducing just for the sake of reducing. It's a question of doing what is right at the particular moment.
For a Christian like you, there's no longer Minister of Religion and Guidance. Your thoughts on that, President?
The Ministry of Religious Affairs, for me, I don't know, is Pastor Chiluba around here?
No, I think he's at home.
Oh, is that good? You know, the Ministry of Religious, it's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's okay. I mean, for me, that ministry was being politicized.
Yeah.
Truth be told. I think on Sunday I attended a church service organized by the 3 church mother bodies.
Yes.
That's what we know.
Absolutely.
Zambia is a democracy. It's not a theocracy. The role of the church and the role of government are distinct You know? When you have a situation where you want the Minister of Religious Affairs to begin doing the role of the church, then there's a problem. Then they got some pastors, then they got some people to get in there who became advocates for government. I think that ministry was not being used for the right purpose. So its extinction is right. But that doesn't decrease my faith in God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I became baptized not because of the Minister of Religious Affairs. No. Zambia is a Christian nation. The three church mother bodies will take up their rightful role.
Right.
Even the day of national prayers and what, that thing was getting diluted.
Yeah.
Because government began organizing it using the Ministry of Religious Affairs. That's why the Catholic Church, if you remember, they said, won't be part of this.
Yeah.
So maybe it will be a function for everybody to be there now. People will know it's being spearheaded by the church and we can be part of it. Maybe even the National House of Prayer will be completed because the political finger will have been removed.
Absolutely.
So, get me right, Your Excellency. I think for me, it doesn't hate me. Whether it is there, it doesn't hate me. But I think it did hate me by its existence because it was being used for wrong reasons.
As a rider to that, how can we get the church back to where it was long before so that it plays a relevant, role of spiritual, leadership?
I think it's to go to the Bible, Excellency. Just read the Bible. I mean, the old kings of Israel, I mean, none of them could rule without having a prophet or a spiritual person in their lives. You know? The role of the church remains critical. The role of the church remains very critical and salvific. Any wise government will want to hear the voice of the church. What is the church saying?
Yeah.
More often than not, we should learn to interact with church leaders to hear how the church is moving, where the gaps are, where government is not doing right. Because the church was there before PF was there, the church was there before MMD was there, the church was there before UNIP was there, the church was there before this UPND was there, and the church will be there even before UPND, before Democratic Party goes into government. The church will be there. Therefore, it is important to acknowledge and celebrate the prophetic role of the church.
Let me discuss with you another thorny issue, and that is tribal balancing in government. And he's been applauded that he's tried very hard, to balance. Is that significant? Aren't we just reminding our people that we are tribal here? So we have to be represented in the government.
I'll tell you that, again, I don't want to be very hard on President H.
Yeah.
But I think he's trying, and I want to be an objective opposition leader. He's trying not to be seen to be tribal.
Yeah.
President Hakainde Hichilema has come into government on the backdrop of him being suspected of he's a regional party, and is proving to all of us that I am not what you think I am.
Yeah.
I am different. And look at all these leaders that I've put in government. And I remove my heart for him. He has tried to balance us up. But that act, as good as it might be, is not sufficient in itself to deal with the issues of tribal politics in our country. It requires leaders, not only the president, leaders like myself as well, in the opposition, to speak unity, to realize that together we are stronger, and that what brings us together is much more than what divides us. Our weaknesses have never outweighed our strengths as a people. And because of that, it is important to do things without viewing them from a tribal perspective. We have been divided enough. It is time to heal the divide.
There's so much anxiety right now in the country that is moving too cautiously, especially in terms of corruption, is moving too cautiously in stimulating, a number of people in government, in parastatals, in agencies, that seemingly were PF, people still, in government. Your thoughts on that?
Each one of us has got his own style. I think give the president time to settle. Give him time. I could have done it differently.
Yeah. What would you have done?
I would have done it differently. Partly because I've been in government before.
Yeah.
From day one, I would have known where to step and who to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, for instance, the other day I looked at him. He appointed Oliver Kalaba as permanent secretary at State House.
Yes, he was a cabinet some time back.
Aha.
Yeah.
If I was president, Oliver Kalaba would have been my secretary to the cabinet.
Ah.
Because Oliver Kalaba was permanent secretary, administration.
Yeah.
It's not written that he's the most senior permanent secretary, but by virtue of him dealing with cabinet matters, and also is linked to the president's office, is very, it's very handy every time. It makes his office special. Maybe the president would have said, while I remove all these people, Oliver, you will act, or you'll be permanent secretary of administration, and you'll see to it that directors and other ministers begin functioning. I would have done that.
Yeah.
The president didn't.
Would you have kept the heads of security agencies or financial agencies like SEC, NADEC? Would you have kept them? Because they're very busy now. And why are they so busy now?
They are busy because the political environment allows them to.
Should they be the same people to deal with these cases?
First of all, again, there it comes. Are we going to fire them because we should just fire them? Or we should fire them because they don't qualify? I think this, it's something that we should think about. Why do we want to change? If they didn't perform to satisfaction of the president, they should be changed. And they should have been fired immediately. He just took over government. They should have been saying, DEC, what, all of you, you go.
Yeah. Tell me.
ZRA, please go and rest.
Tell me, President Kalaba, is corruption one issue that can make or break not only the UPND government, even if you had, been president today, is that something that can, make or break it?
It's a serious benchmark. It's a serious benchmark. And if the current government doesn't handle corruption issues well, they will not have it easy. Not only from the people of Zambia, but also from ourselves as leaders in the opposition. We are watching them and watching them very carefully because it is corruption which you and I were lamenting, I think, for the first 20 minutes of our program here. We are lamenting on corruption.
Absolutely.
How it has eroded confidence in governance. How people that should have been close to us have distanced themselves because of acts of sheer carelessness in front of corruption. So that's a very huge thing, and I want to believe that the president should take that very seriously.
Can you also discuss the judiciary? The importance of the judiciary, cannot be underestimated. Also, Parliament, vis-a-vis some of the petitions that are going on. How would you like, Parliament to perform? So deal with judiciary and Parliament.
First of all, I would go back to my ordinary civics of the separation of powers. Between the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. With confidence, as I was coming, I was reading that the Lusaka mayor's thing has been upheld. That shows confidence in the judiciary, that they can still say no to the ruling party. And also it shows me confidence that the ruling party is not influencing decisions of the judiciary. That is as it should be. We need the separation of powers. And going in future, we would want to see a judiciary that is also very proactive, that will not fear the political elite, that will go by what it thinks is right. We know we had a challenge concerning the third term of the former president. He was allowed a third term. And they said the other one didn't count, the 3 years didn't count, and yet he was getting a salary. He was using government facilities, so how did it count? In those 3 years, he became a bit fatter, using that position, so it counted.
Concord, would you revisit that? The people are saying,
the Concord, yes, even myself as president, I will relook at it. As president, I will relook at the Concord. I think the Supreme Court is just fine.
UPND is still looking for more numbers, the petitioning, but it's their right, legally. what kind of balance would you like in a parliament too?
I mean, our parliament must be balanced, and we are working hard as DP to ensure that we get 1 to 4 members of parliament in the house. If there will be some that will be nullified, because we need representation in the house.
Yeah.
It's important that we have members of parliament domiciled in that house, so that we have a parliament that is balanced. Because once we have a mono parliament, it means that the UPND will have a feud. They can change the law. They can go to parliament and say the president will be there for 10 years or 20 years. We will not change the president. They can change it.
Absolutely.
And they will say, no, we are from now onwards, members of parliament will not be vacating their seats until after 50 years. They can do it because they have the arrogance of numbers. So it is dangerous. So we need to regulate it. And I think for us in the DP, we are of the view that people out there should begin giving a very serious look at parties like the DP to go and balance that parliament. Yeah.
Should this parliament have enough, we keep on going back to corruption, that's how important it is. If they find there's enough evidence pointing at the former president, and they decided to remove immunity, is this something that you subscribe to?
Yeah, what is wrong? If there is need for Parliament to remove his immunity, if they have established a prima facie case, why not remove his immunity so that we hear what happened? Nothing strange about it. It should not be the first. Rupiah Banda lost his immunity in this country, and so did Chuluba lose his immunity in this country. So if President Lungu loses his immunity as a result of people wanting to know the truth, so be it.
Yeah. You talked about separation of power here. There are people who are saying the Zambian president has got too much power. Do we have to revisit? Do we have to revisit even the Constitution to relook at this?
If you ask me, I'm tired of this revisiting of the Constitution. I'm tired of this thing of the Constitution.
Yeah.
Every government wants to talk about the Constitution, instead of talking about reducing the price of midi meal, instead of talking about making cooking oil affordable. We talk about the Constitution, and we're just losing time. We have had We have had 5 constitutional review commissions in this country that have come to yield nothing. Political expedience has just overtaken the interests of the people of Zambia, and that is why, for me, I think it's maybe we can amend some laws instead of just going for the whole constitutional review process. It will just waste our time. I think right now what is important is the economy. Let them fix the economy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Talk about that. The president has been saying quite a number of things. So there's one thing I plucked out at the inauguration when he said it's not about the transfer of power. It's about transfer of leadership, because power belongs to the people. What is your understanding of that, and how can this be realized?
Well, if in the real sense the president means it, granted. I think what is meant to be said is that real power lies with the people. They're the ones who decide. They decide whether you continue or you don't continue. And so President Chilem, I think that's what he meant. If that's not what he meant, but that's how I understand it myself, that at the end of the day, you don't transfer power from one individual to another. Power remains with the people. They choose leadership. And in 2026, they will choose whether to continue with President Hakainde or to bring in Uncle Harry.
Let's talk about a field which is very dear to you. The president has made his trip, to the U.S., to attend the General Assembly with a delegation of 3. Obviously, they are supporting people, apart from these 3 ministers. Your thoughts on this trip and also the composition of the delegation?
I think I said it, that for me, it's not the number of ministers that have traveled that is really a big issue. It is the work that is at the General Council. If the work that is there will require 3 people to do it, fine. But having been minister before, I know that at the General Council right now, General Conference there, you have the whole world is congregating in New York. Leaders of the world are in New York right now. And is to take advantage. Ministers make connections there, bilateral meetings, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs as well, the President. So to limit your delegation is to limit your possibilities of enlarging your potential. And I think it should be something that the President should rethink going in future. We should not just look at an issue from a micro perspective. I think we should be broad-based.
There's been a talk by his travel commission. There's been, again, mixed positions on whether he should sell the presidential jet or what. Again, your thoughts on that, President Kalaba?
Your Excellency, I think for me, the security of the president is paramount. Sometimes we should not underplay this issue. The president is traveling now, it's COVID time, and flights have been reduced, meaning that most flights that are going, the president is on are quite full, and it's just not right that you subject your president to such kind of measures, because I know that even he has to go to an airport, he has to go and begin waiting there to connect his flight, then they'll call him, he has to go. In some instances, the president will even be searched, and members of his delegation will have to be subjected to searches, and it inhibits the free movement of your leader. I think having been minister before and foreign minister before, and very well acquainted with what travels are all about, let's not put a fuss. I mean, he's not traveling to the General Assembly every day. It's an annual event. That annual event, we can't take him safely to where he's going and bring him back safely. I think when you say no, we are making, it's a cost-saving measure how?
Absolutely.
Because that thing is a very luxurious thing. That what airline they were using the other day. There's even a shower in there. There's even internet. There's even a bed. There's even.
He's got connected to home, really, wherever he is.
Yes. So it's. I think it's a question of looking at where we need to be as a country, and that we protect and have pride in our presidency.
The power of information is very important. There's a new Minister of Foreign Affairs. If he called on to you for advice, would you do that? That's part of the equation. The other part of the equation, the performance of the media in this country, especially ZNBC. You were rarely covered, like all opposition parties.
Yes. I was really covered, and I hope that the new regime will cover us now. I just hope they will cover us now. ZNBC must be professional. It's important. We need a free media. I think that's how it should be.
If the Minister of Foreign Affairs called on you for
why not?
advice.
Why not? I used to call. I used to call others to come. Why can't he? Why can't I meet Kakubo and have tea with him?
Brilliant. My final question, President Kalaba, the future of DP and the country, as a whole, how do you see it? Your expectations?
Well, the future of the country and DP is that the DP is a growing party. We are the party of choice, and we've already given out our numbers to people out there to join us. We are a party that believes in unity and diversity. We believe that Zambia will only progress if Zambians themselves begin getting involved in the affairs of their country. We believe that there is potential in this country, but what is not there is inclusion of our people in the economic equation. When we come, we'll not talk for the Chinese, we'll not talk for the Lebanese, we'll be talking for Zambians. Thank you, Excellency.
Brilliant. This has been Frank on Capital. My guest, President Harry Kalaba, the president of DEP. Thank you very much for watching. We will certainly be back next week. Like I keep on saying, do your very best and God will do the rest. On behalf of my guest, good night to you all, and indeed on behalf of my crew, Isaac and his team, and of course Pastor Chiluba and Mrs. Chiluba. God bless you all, and good night.